The Bad Batch have a big problem. Hello there, welcome to another video. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you always get notified whenever I release a new video. With that said, let's get into it. The Bad Batch is a pretty fair show. I don't think anyone could really say that it's bad. I know some people get annoyed with Omega and with the Bad Batch going on side missions, 8 out of the 16 episodes that we usually get. But even with that, I don't think anyone in the fandom could really say they hate this show. However, it does have a big problem, at least in my opinion. And that is that the show isn't Clone Wars Season 8. Now, let me explain. I don't mean the literal Clone Wars. Obviously, the Clone Wars had to end eventually. You know, Order 66, that's kind of how it works. But I honestly feel like the biggest issue with this show is that it's only focusing on one group. 7 characters, and that's it. Clone Wars could focus on Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka. Sometimes they'll have just episodes with Rex and a few of his clones. Sometimes they'll create entirely new characters and have different episodes that are interesting with them. But the liberty with the Clone Wars is that they could go to any one of those characters and tell really how many episodes as they wanted to tell. Sure, there was a center focus, Ahsoka, Rex, Anakin, and Obi-Wan. But Darth Maul, Ventress, Yoda, Mace Windu, they had a ton of completely different characters that they could play with. Realistically, they had the entire galaxy at the time of the Clone Wars. That's because it's not called the Ahsoka show or the Ahsoka and Anakin show. They weren't restricted to a specific group or a specific character. The Bad Batch are. And it's really ironic that most of the best episodes of the Bad Batch series don't have the Bad Batch in it. Or they're just focusing on Crosshair, which technically, he's not really part of the Bad Batch anymore. Now, focusing on one group can work. I'm just saying that in this timeline, they could be focusing on a ton of different areas, planets, characters, and situations that don't involve going on another Sid mission. The first few minutes of the very first episode, I thought, man, I would love to see a series focusing on maybe Kanan and Hera going around and their adventures in the galaxy. Or I'd love a political drama featuring Chuchi and maybe Senator Organa. I don't know, maybe it's just really hard to fall in love with a show when you wish you were watching a different one. I would kill for a Hera and Kanan TV series. I think that's a big reason Tales of the Jedi is so exciting, because they can tell any story about any character at any time. They could tell stories about Luke. I wouldn't really be down for it, but they could tell stories about Rey. The title being Tales of the Jedi means that it's completely free of restriction, other than the idea that it has to have something to do with the Jedi, which even that isn't fully true because we got an entire episode about Ahsoka's mother. Sure, Ahsoka was in the episode, but it wasn't really about her. It was about her parents. So even the restriction of it having to have something to do with the Jedi isn't 100% true. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want a series about literally any Jedi that they could think of? We could get stories about Cal Kestis. I mean, the potential is literally limitless with that show, and yet we have the Bad Batch where you basically have to focus on the Bad Batch or something affecting them. Again, I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying every time they go off and tell a story about a different character other than the Bad Batch in the Bad Batch series, it just seems like it gets that much more interesting. And then 2 episodes later, we have to go and be stuck on another Sid mission. Or we're going to a remote planet watching the sunset and fighting a tsunami with Big Bone Mace Windu. Maybe I'd be more forgiving of this if we had a different series like Tales of the Jedi constantly coming out like the Bad Batch is. Tales of the Jedi honestly has the potential to just be a limited series. We could literally never get another episode of that series. No season 2 has been confirmed, and even if there is 6 shorts, that's it? I don't know. I've just been thinking about this for a while. I do like the Bad Batch, don't get me wrong. It's just, especially in this timeline where everything is changing and the Empire is slowly taking over, I just feel like there are more interesting stories that we could be seeing. But hey, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. That's all I got for you guys today. Bye.